Welcome to Bridge 9 Podcast, episode number 16. I'm Tyler.
I'm Brian.
I'm Ryan.
Welcome back. Number 16. Can you believe we made it this far?
Jesus.
A couple months in already. Killing it over here. So yeah, real quick, let's do some business. The War on Women self-titled record, their Bridge 9 debut, just came out this week. You can buy it now. Buy it. Pre-orders have been shipping, and probably by the time this comes out, we'll have already shipped. So if you got yours, give us a shout and give it a spin. Other than that, we got Alcoa's Parlor Tricks. That's coming out February 24th. Also, as of the drop of this podcast, tonight, the B9 Warehouse Show with Alcoa, Aviator, and James Carroll. Come on out to that. It's going to be a good time. Also, we have Caravel's Octave Split. It's out now digitally. You can pre-order the vinyl for that, and we'll start shipping around March 3rd. That's when the release date is. And then we got Gallows Desolation Sounds, April 14th release for that. Taking pre-orders on those. And also, we still got our calendars, giving them away in all orders of $30 or more, or you can grab them for $8 in the store. And I think that's all we got for business. Flying through it. We're efficient.
Bang, bang.
That was unsettling.
Bang, bang.
I'm just saying, it was efficient.
I know.
I'm agreeing with you.
Speaking of bang, bang, how was your weekend?
Jesus Christ almighty.
Is that bad? I think that's a pretty good segue.
Just lobbed it right.
That's a segue.
Softball for Ryan.
Have you heard of a segue?
Just watching it float in the air.
You bang, banged it.
Knocked it out of the park.
So, as everyone knows, you went to see your lover.
Love interest.
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about it. It was a good time. I think we enjoyed
How
each
was
other's
the ride
company.
down? Let's go through every step. I want to know. I don't know every detail. You told me about food and like two other things. So you get in your car.
Got in my car.
Turn the key. What happens?
Pulled onto Washington Street and headed towards the highway.
All right.
First few hours or so were pretty miserable.
Why was it miserable?
A lot of traffic.
Was it? Because of the snow?
I don't know. It was just like weird.
Was it even snowing when you left?
It was like Thursday.
I don't think so.
It was a Thursday at 4:30 and this crazy traffic. And my repaired hernia rather, is hurting.
Didn't you take your pants right off when you got in your car?
I unbuckled and unzipped.
I thought you were going to wear sweatpants while you drove.
Nah, I took your other suggestion. I just unbuckled the belt and zipped down and a little bit. And
I honestly think you would have been better off wearing sweatpants if you got like pulled over or something.
Yeah,
the cops gonna not question you about wearing sweatpants, but when you have your belt out and your pants halfway down,
were I to get pulled over, I'd probably,
You would flash the cop your wound?
No, I would buckle up before he gets.
Yeah, that's sketchy.
Yeah, he's like, whoa, what are you doing? Huh?
It's not like but whenever a cop pulls you over, it's not like he jumps right out of the car and races up.
But that's the thing. They wait in their car to see what you're doing up there.
Yeah,
and that's why they slowly approach and then look in. I remember, Ryan, we got pulled over once, and you were you were just like adjusting your underwear or something, and the cop was like, "What'd you just shove down your pants?" He was about to like strip search all of us.
I told him, I was like, just my underpants.
Well, there's the thing. I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm not hiding anything. I don't have anything to hide. So I think I would be okay buckling up and zipping back up.
Yeah, but it's not going to...
If the cop says something,
you out and beat you.
I'd be like, yeah.
He'll still shoot you in the leg.
I'll show him...
You'll show him your cock. You're going to show your cock.
Not the cock. It's not the cock. I can show people the repaired area.
You think it would be a good idea to just start pulling down your pants to reveal yourself to a cop?
No, but if he said like, "Oh, what'd you just shove down there?" then I would say,
"You just said it's my cock."
No, I'd say I just had hernia surgery last week, officer.
And
if he asked us, he's like, "Oh, well, why don't you show me?"
No, but he's gonna say, "Oh, so that's why you were just like."
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't make sense. How's that a good excuse?
It's
a very long hypothetical segue.
He's gonna think that you were like driving around jerking off.
Yeah.
Looking at hot women.
There's no proof of that.
I think you were definitely doing that. You were doing lewd acts while you were driving on the highway and sitting in traffic.
I was too much in pain. I was too much in pain to even think about it.
You've jerked off in your car once before?
At least once, right?
What do you mean at least? Only once.
Yes. What's the scenario again? You told me a very long time ago.
Yeah, I forget. I think we were actually at This Is Hardcore swapping stories when we learned about this.
You were jerking. How old were you when you jerked off in the car?
Well, he was at least like 16, 17, right? I want to say 24.
Yeah, how old were you?
Probably about 24.
Were you? What were you doing?
I was driving somewhere. Just felt like rubbing one out.
It was just like a good time?
Yeah. No, what were you doing?
What was I doing?
Where were you coming from? What came over you?
I don't know. I just felt like it.
Lust.
You were just driving. What were you driving to?
I was driving to a friend's house.
You were driving to a friend's house and felt compelled to jerk off in your car?
Did you have like a bunch of leftovers in like the passenger seat and they turned you on?
What?
What?
Why are you so aroused?
I don't know.
What were you thinking about?
The blow-up doll?
You were, weren't you? Reminiscing. My old friend.
You got me.
It was the 5-year anniversary of its death.
Drive. It felt like it's a good way to pass the time.
You had an hour and a half drive to your friend's house?
Yeah.
Where does your friend live?
Brooklyn.
How much time did that really pass, though?
5-10 minutes.
Yeah, and then what?
You jerked off in your car for 10 minutes?
Something like that.
You were jerking off in the car and then...
Well, you got to stop when you're passing cars.
And then... Oh, so you would jerk off and then
was this on the highway or was this on like a road?
I think it was on a road.
So you're going into real weird ass territory here.
And I think it was a highway.
Now it's
of course. Okay, now it's a highway, and you weren't actually jerking off. You were eating a sandwich.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now it's clear.
Yes.
Okay.
I think you were definitely like on like a cul-de-sac with children playing, just going in circles, jerking off.
It just felt like it.
You were just tempting fate.
Holy shit! No.
So what happened?
So you're jerking off in broad daylight on your way down to Pennsylvania.
Did you jerk off to completion?
No.
Yeah, where did you
jerk off to completion?
The incident?
Yeah.
Years and years ago?
Yeah,
yes.
The incident.
Yeah.
Where did it go?
Where did you jizz?
I think into some like napkins I had and then I threw it out the window.
Oh, that's so wasteful. You litter bug.
So you threw cum napkins out the window that some little kids are going to pick up and play with
on the highway? Some kids are going to pick that up?
You were not on the highway. You were in a residential neighborhood. And you
I was on the highway.
You know some kid's going to pick that up and
off the highway?
He wasn't on the highway.
He was on the highway. You just said you weren't.
Gonna be kids.
I was on the highway
looking for something to do. They pick it up and they make a paper airplane out of it,
like
and they toss it around.
Memorize every detail about it.
Were you driving with your knee at one point? So you were jerking off with the napkins and what?
Just one hand.
Just one hand.
You got one hand, but then the other hand to clean yourself up. That's a 2-hand job.
It was just one hand holding the napkins.
Wait, so did you put the napkins over your penis and then jerk off into the napkins?
Probably.
It's like the banana peel, except with the napkins.
Why do you need to know?
I'm just wondering.
Why are you wondering?
Because the details add up to paint a beautiful picture of this story.
I know.
Why do you need to know?
That's efficient. That's okay.
Oh, you freak.
Did you ever almost drive off the road while this was going on?
No.
Stayed very steady.
Yeah.
Eyes on the road.
Eyes on the road. Straight ahead.
On the wheel, one hand on your penis and the napkin.
We're never going to get through this weekend trip story.
Okay, you want to go back? Okay.
All right. So you're jerking off on your way down.
Massachusetts.
You're jerking off.
Into crazy segues.
On your way down to Pennsylvania.
Definitely wasn't jerking off on my way to Pennsylvania.
Did you think about it?
Not once.
Your pants were off, though.
No, I'm in pain. I'm not even. My mind is nowhere near that.
All right, but your pants were around your ankles and you were driving.
Just say yes and move on to the next part. Okay.
Your hair's looking crazy right now in the back, Tyler.
What can you do?
You gotta smooth it down a little bit.
You can't segue this. We're not talking about hairdos.
Oh, because you guys never segue.
We're not talking about hairdos. We're talking about your trip.
Talking about a cop hypothetically pulling me over for jerking off.
That was relevant.
We're over that. We're past that.
I was in a lot of pain, but I made a stop at a rest stop, picked up some Tylenol.
It was that much pain, huh?
Popped 2 pills, slammed down a 5-hour energy, and I was good to go.
It sounds like that's good to go.
And then what?
Gave me a second wind. I did get lost because the GPS didn't recognize her town, oddly enough. So I ended up in some office plaza in East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania.
Did you knock on the door to make sure it wasn't her place? You always listen to directions. Plaza? Yeah.
I think I had an idea that I was in the wrong spot.
So how'd you get there then?
I called her. I said, can you give me a nearby destination that I can just try and put my GPS in for? So she did that. That worked. It was fine. Her town came up differently on the GPS. It was weird. I got there finally at 10 o'clock.
Do you think it's at all possible she gave you a fake address to throw you off?
No.
And then when she realized, oh, wait, he's really here, I guess I'll tell him where to go.
Yes, clearly
he's
that's what
so
happened.
persistent and crazy that he actually showed up.
Correct.
All right, so that happened.
So I got there, greeted her parents. Said
How
hello.
did you greet them? Did you kiss them on the cheeks?
No. Did you kiss the mom's hand?
No, I just shook their
Gave
hand.
her a
it was
rose.
Nice to meet you.
You shake the father's hand as hard as you can.
Yeah. Show that you're a real man. Yeah. You gotta break his hand.
Make sure his bones crack.
Yeah, he would respect that.
Oh yeah.
Turn his hand to dust.
I let them know I brought them a gift.
What did you bring them?
Some tea.
Did you really bring a gift?
Yeah.
You bought them tea.
Did you
from
buy this
what?
at the
truck
gas
stop?
station on
No,
the
from
restaurant?
Tivana.
You went out and bought them a
I
gift.
know, what the fuck? When did this happen?
When I had my dental appointment, I ran to the mall and just picked up a little something. Because like when you're staying with someone, you bring them a little gift as a thank you.
Why'd you get them tea though?
I don't know. Seemed like a nice thing to get.
What did they say?
Thank you.
Did they say thank you, but this is a little strange?
Yeah, but
Why is it strange?
what was like? They're like, they said thank you, but how do you think?
Admittedly, this is like my mom's idea that you.
yeah. Like Ryan was like, was it like a thank you or was it like a thank you? That's awesome.
I think it was the latter.
You sure it wasn't like a
lot of
thank
people,
you?
A lot of people don't drink tea.
Yeah.
I think.
What if they had some sort of traumatic event with tea in their life?
I think I was told that. Like,
What if the tea?
her parents drink tea?
What if the father was drinking tea and he dropped it and it burned his cock off?
Yeah, burned his penis off. Now he just has a small burnt stub.
Is that like the case where the lady burned herself with a McDonald's coffee and then sued McDonald's for it?
No, but now tea's just like
it triggers
for him.
like he gets like flashbacks to that.
Somehow I doubt someone is triggered by hot tea.
That's ignorant.
It's possible.
Tumblr's pretty mad about that, huh?
So you
All
got
right.
them tea, and they said,
So they were freaked out by the tea. You set the scene pretty poorly.
Yep.
And then what?
Clearly.
They called the police and they had a car just not a
Just
rescue,
drive by.
What? Just
Yeah. Like he's got
park outside for the
He's
night.
got a buddy who we went to high school with who's like, hey, we got a weirdo. He showed up with tea, classic sign. And then he's like, could you
Classic
just
sign.
drive by a couple times, just show that you're in the area?
Yeah, that's what happened.
Did they have someone search the tea to make sure it was,
Search
it was
the
good?
tea?
Yeah.
Yeah, they called in a specialist.
All right. So then what?
Then I think settled in. We tried to watch a movie, but I fell asleep.
You fell asleep. Did the classic shells?
That
Yeah.
sucks.
What movie?
Insidious.
What's that?
It's a horror movie.
Modern horror
Was it
movie.
scary?
Yeah, it was pretty scary. It was pretty good.
Well, you remember?
It has its moments.
Yeah,
It's kind of goofy sometimes, but it's kind of okay.
it's like a good goofy though, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think it's intentionally
You liked
goofy.
it though.
It was, upon a second viewing, I liked it.
She loves this movie.
Yeah, that's the kind of movie I think is like people either love it or they hate it. So you fell asleep during that because you're an 85-year-old man.
Yeah.
And then what?
So we went to bed and we just kind of watched it in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was Friday at that point. I think we went to
McDonald's?
we went to McDonald's. Got a number 2. No, we went to Nucleus, which was a raw vegan place in Luzerne,
Like
PA.
a power plant or something.
Nucleus.
Yeah.
It was good. They had pretty good food. I don't really eat raw very often, so it was kind of different, but
it
good
was
at the same
raw?
time. Yeah.
Raw.
Like raw food?
Yes, it was raw food, Ryan. Raw vegan.
Was it good?
Food.
Ryan, how would you use
Yes.
raw in a sentence?
I raw dogged.
What does that mean, Ryan?
It just means what it means.
It just means what it means.
So
You
what
raw
else?
dog.
Sound like a weird bro when you say that, but okay.
So what else?
I think we walked around the decrepit Scranton Mall, where half the stores are closed and there's only 2 restaurants open in the food court.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Wow.
amazing.
What else?
We went to the health food store in Scranton. That was cool.
Sounds like a boring trip.
I know.
I don't know. There's not much going on around there. Went back to her house. I think we probably watched another movie or something.
Didn't you compulsively drive 3 hours to Philadelphia
It
to
wasn't
go to a show?
compulsive. It was
To
planned.
go to a show.
You said, I'm sorry, I can't miss this, so you have to come with me.
It was it was something to do.
Is that what she said?
What do you mean? Is that what she said?
Did she say, this is nice, this is something to do?
No.
She had no opinion about it.
I think she enjoyed the trip. We went to Philly Saturday, went to a show, went to Repo Records, walked along South Street, got Blackbird. It was good.
You ate some food.
Yeah.
You Shazammed at the record store too.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, they were playing some like post-punk song on
Why don't you
the
just ask
speakers
the
that-
person working there?
You don't want to look like a poser, he said.
But you ultimately are. And now the whole world knows you're a poser.
He Shazammed it.
So we'll Shazam a little show right up. And what if the person like didn't know what it was?
I don't know. So who did it end up being?
After Image.
Oh, that's you like that song now.
Hence putting it on the Spotify playlist.
True. All right. So This is all the boring
I
stuff.
watched a couple more movies that night.
How many movies?
All right, we're gonna stop talking about.
Went home the next
We're gonna
day.
stop talking
That's the
about
weekend.
boring stuff, Schultz.
Yeah, and that was my weekend.
Well,
we had a little concern
Well, what?
on the last podcast about your pecker working.
My
correctly.
pecker working?
your little friends.
Did your little friend work correctly?
What do you mean, did it work correctly?
Were you able to get
Did it
erect?
perform exactly the way you were hoping it would?
Saying, why would I get erect?
What? Oh, don't pull this shit.
Don't pull what?
Were you able to get erect?
What do you mean, was I able to get erect? Are you saying that I potentially have sex with this person I'm romantically involved with?
Well,
Yes, because that's what happens sometimes, Ryan.
okay, but were you able to get erect because you couldn't before you
I
left?
could. There was
you
never.
couldn't.
It was never the problem.
It was the problem.
You manufactured this fake problem just so you
No.
could ask about it the next week. It
You
always
told-
worked.
You told us it didn't work.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Listen back to
Anyone
the
can listen to
RFC
podcasts.
episode.
Yeah, everyone can confirm. You have many witnesses. You
No.
cannot
There's a
deny
huge
this.
difference between not working and don't feel like trying to make it work.
You said it didn't work.
It did. I
And
never
then
said that.
I
never said
then
that.
you said I
said I wasn't in the mood, but if I was in the mood, it would probably work fine.
And you said I turned you on.
What?
You did.
No, I didn't.
You said I turned you on and got it working again.
Oh, when you were shooting me links to alternative nude models?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it
So
worked.
but we there was no confirmation that was the case. So
It's true.
Well, the only confirmation would be me showing you my erect penis.
yes,
Which I'm not going to do, so
well, that's dumb. That doesn't make any sense.
it doesn't make any sense.
So did it work this weekend?
Yeah, it worked, guys.
What does
It
that
worked.
mean?
You got erect.
How many
Yes.
times
Was
were you
it-
erect?
How many times? However many times we had sex.
Whoa!
Was it like? Was it a strong one though? Or was it kind of weak from the?
It was
turn-up?
strong.
How strong?
Stronger than ever?
100%?
It was a solid erection.
Solid?
How do you measure that?
Like a 7.5?
Is there a scale for
What's the
that?
percentage of blood flow
Yeah.
down there?
What do you mean? What's the normal percentage?
I don't know,
100.
Then it was 100, I guess.
Rock hard, eh?
Sure. Yeah.
We
You
were
need
also
to know how hard my cock was. Huh, Ryan?
well, we were also concerned.
Okay.
Not about that. We were saying maybe you should jerk off in the bathroom to make sure you
I'm
don't
not going to jerk
pop
off
too quick.
in this girl's
So you
parents'
chose not to,
bathroom.
but what was the result?
You chose not to jerk off in the bathroom. You didn't take our
Unties.
advice. And what happened?
What do you mean? What happened?
How was
Did
your
you pop
performance?
How was my performance?
Yeah.
Popped
I think I
quick.
did fine.
You popped pretty quick.
I popped quick.
A little quick.
On
What
a
am I,
scale of
fucking toaster?
You popped a little quick.
Yeah. Did you?
I don't know.
Your performance was fine on a scale of 1 to 10 minutes.
I'm saying as far as length goes,
You
What?
popped quick.
I might have popped
So
quick
you think
a few
you had?
times.
You think the length was short, but you did well. Like you had good attitude.
Quality over quantity, yeah.
Yeah.
How long would you say the popping was in
Popping.
general?
Wow,
like
we're
popcorn.
going here, huh? You need to
Yeah.
know just every little detail.
Yep.
Why? You doing a study? You
It's
writing a book?
important.
Yep. It's on my thesis.
Oh my god. I would say 2 to 3 minutes.
2 to 3. It's not
Yeah,
bad.
it's not. I mean, it's preceded by a lot of things,
Like what?
so it doesn't seem like that short, really.
What do you mean?
Overall.
Yeah. What do
I
you mean?
Preceded by what?
The things you do before you have sex.
Like what?
Various
Foreplay.
Foreplay.
Yeah, various foreplay.
Like what? Stabbing?
Yeah, a little stabbing,
Hitting?
dismembering, all the usual
So
things.
2 to 3. Pop quick.
How many
You didn't-
times?
You didn't think about jerking off in the bathroom at all?
No, that thought never crossed my mind.
Sounds like
Really?
you should have.
Do you go to a date's parents' house and jerk off in the bathroom before you hang out with them, Ryan?
If it's
Tyler's
necessary.
nodding. He does
If it's
that.
necessary,
If it's necessary,
I don't think it's
Sure.
necessary.
it's a necessary evil.
Necessary evil.
Yeah.
what
Rubbing one
what
out
could
in the
make you
bathroom.
pop less quick? Isn't it? Aren't you supposed to like think about like
Baseball?
like- or like dead family members or something?
Yeah.
Your dead grandma or
Yeah.
something?
Jesus, I've never heard that.
Think about your
Really?
dead
But
grandma.
I guess that would work, huh?
Or think about your grandmother nude.
Yeah, I've always heard like dead grandma or like grandma masturbating in the shower.
Oh my god.
Something
So
like that.
specific and weird.
Like nanny. Think about
Oh
nanny.
my god,
Yeah.
stop.
Think about her hitting a
Nanny's daughter
blunt
listens
and
to this
then jerking
podcast.
off in the
Yeah,
bathroom.
thinking about her smoking weed on the couch
Yeah.
and then
getting a little
masturbating.
bit horny and just rubbing one out. Nanny.
You are truly deranged.
What? It's
That'll
just
make
nanny.
that'll make you last, right?
Oh
Yeah.
my god. Why would you even say those things?
What?
Just monsters.
This is nanny. You gotta think that she's probably done that at least once in her life.
Yeah, you don't think nanny's done that before?
She's just human.
Smoked a little weed into one. Wanted to finger blast yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, why
Oh
not?
my god.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Ryan likes that. Poor old woman.
Wow. So you pop quick. But
Yeah,
you
what
think,
But you popped quick
What is
multiple
it?
times, didn't you?
Yeah.
but you think,
Why didn't you learn?
I mean, why didn't I learn?
Adjust.
I adjusted a few times in.
What does that mean?
It means after a few quick pops, I was able to last longer.
that's what's up.
Congrats.
You thought about Nanny.
Yeah.
Smoking weed
Do you
on the
think
couch.
you had, it was, even though it was a quick pop, you think it was high quality?
Yeah, I think so.
High quality performance?
Is that what she said, though?
There was no commentary.
But you could
Tyler?
tell. You could get the vibes.
Yeah.
How did your bandages hold up?
Yeah. Were they a
They're fine.
deterrence at all?
No.
They
Did it
fall
hurt?
off and get sucked into.
They were mostly falling off by the third day or so, so I just
Did they fall off while you were
I
fucking?
pulled most of them off.
Do you have any oozing wounds?
Nothing's actually oozing, no.
Did it hurt as you thrusted each thrust?
A little bit.
It did a little, huh?
It was a little pain.
Did you wince and make sounds?
No. I winced a little bit.
You did?
Yeah.
Like that?
No, just like faces.
Like what?
Like, well, you can't really do visual things on a podcast.
If it had to make, if the wincing made a sound, what would
Yeah.
it be? It doesn't sound like a wince. It sounds like
I
a
don't know.
grunt.
A wincing grunt, a
A
grunting
wincing-
wince,
A want.
or what have
But
you.
Grins.
you had gentle, loving sex.
Jesus Christ, Ryan.
You overreact to the strangest things.
You were hurting. I'm just saying you have to be gentle, correct?
Yeah.
Easy. Ease your way in. When are you going to be fully back to your wild self?
What's my wild self?
Where you can become
thrust.
erect and have full thrusts.
Just go all out? I don't know. Another month or so?
Do you think the quick popping has to do with the hernia at all? Or is that a common problem?
I don't know, man.
What do you mean you
You
don't
had to
know?
take a
You-
guess.
I feel like
Done
most
it.
people pop pretty quick if they don't hold themselves back, show some restraint.
What?
Don't
How
you?
fast do you?
Don't you?
Not that quick. No.
Never.
Actually, I don't really pop quick at all. No.
What are you, an old man?
No.
Is that an old man thing?
Kind of feel like it is.
Is
So
it?
old man can't get erections.
I know. Old men don't bone.
Old man bone, I think.
How fast do you go? Clap your hands like how fast you would normally go.
Normally thrust.
Yeah, to make
There's
yourself
no
pop so
normal
quick.
speed. I mix it up.
Well,
You mix it
give me-
up.
Don't
give me
you?
your
You're
average.
creative.
Don't you?
Oh, obviously, but if you're popping quick, I feel like you're just going, and then you're
Maybe
done.
not that quick.
How quick?
Sure, that quick.
Everybody, it's the Schultz having
Oh
sex.
my god. Gotta illustrate the rate, don't you, Ryan?
I feel like, okay, I get it. You gotta slow it down sometime. You know, speed it up, slow it down, speed it up, slow it down.
Tempo
Sure.
changes.
Sure.
It's all about
It's
the tempo
dynamic.
change. That's what,
Yeah.
that's what makes a good song, you know? Just dynamic, tempo change. And that's what makes great, passionate sex.
Yeah? Would you agree?
Yeah, thanks, doctor.
So how's the ride home?
Ride home was wonderful. No traffic.
Did you hug her parents goodbye?
Yes, actually.
What did they say to you? Did her father whisper anything in your ear?
No. She said it was nice having
What's
me.
like the weirdest thing that happened in the house while you were there? Like the
weirdest thing-
most awkward moment.
There
There's
wasn't
always
really-
going to be like a slightly awkward moment.
You didn't walk out of her room with a huge boner going to
Yeah.
the bathroom in your
No,
underpants?
Ryan, I did not.
Like you were totally
There
nude
was
with
nothing-
socks on with an erection. You were just going into the bathroom.
No, there was nothing really like that.
Nothing at all.
Do you leave your socks on when you fuck?
Yeah, sometimes.
Did you take a
I'm-
shit and forget to flush, and then they got called out in the morning?
No, that didn't happen. Ryan, what are you talking about socks over here?
Socks when you fuck? Because I left them on once and it felt weird.
It
That
felt
is weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
it's
feel like your socks should be off before anything else comes off. You don't need
What?
socks while you're in.
isn't that the last thing you take off?
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
the
like if
last
you're laying
thing.
in bed, I just don't want socks on for the most part.
When I'm like, I only take my socks off when I'm like going to bed.
Yeah, I
But if
guess. Maybe.
If we're like chilling, you know, we're chilling in the room.
I don't have a preference, but I sleep in socks most of the time.
Well, that's just
Yeah, that's
weird.
weird.
That's a straight up serial killer behavior right
You're the one
there.
who can't fall asleep without a TV on.
Yeah, that's normal. I'm an American. I need stimulation. I'm a modern American man.
Very modern. How would you have fallen asleep before TVs were invented?
I wouldn't have. Wasn't my
You should
time.
have suffered from insane insomnia.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about?
Falling asleep with socks on?
Wrap up your trip here.
Yeah, wrap up your trip here.
That about covers
Highlights.
it.
5 highlights.
5 highlights?
Quick. Rattle them off.
Oh my god.
I'll name it off for him. The food, popping, spending time with his lover, going grocery shopping, and
The show in Philadelphia.
Did you stop at D'Angelo's or Subway on the way home?
No. No, I didn't.
What'd you eat on the way home?
I didn't eat on the way home. I had lunch with her right before I left so that I wouldn't get hungry.
Oh.
Did you pile it in? Had an excessive lunch?
No, I just had
Normal lunch?
just had a little bit of leftover calzone and half that cheesesteak.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You made it home safe.
Made it home safe.
Glad to have you back.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You glad to be back? You miss her?
Yeah, I miss her.
Did you miss us?
A little bit, but not much.
Do you really a little miss us?
Only this much.
Really? Wow.
I'm holding my fingers very close to each
That's
other.
still a little bit, though.
I'm surprised.
It's nice of you.
You miss me sometimes, huh?
Not a lot, though.
Sometimes, though.
What moments do you miss
I
Ryan?
need breaks from you.
Need breaks. Why?
It's mentally and emotionally exhausting.
You're rude.
Hey, you're rude.
I'm rude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad you had a good weekend, Schultz. When are you going to see her again?
When she visits, probably in a couple weeks, maybe a month or so.
Well, it's
No
exciting.
date's set yet, but
Congratulations.
are you going to meet her?
Yeah, we should meet her.
If you guys want to meet her, yeah.
Of course we want to meet her.
I mean, she's going to be Mrs. Schultz.
I know. She's going to be Mrs. Leftovers. We gotta meet her. We'll bring gifts of leftovers for you and the missus.
That's so nice of you.
Here you go. I had this from yesterday.
Gifts.
I've never known Schultz since he's ever as someone who sees somebody, so we got to meet them.
Yeah.
I was kind of seeing somebody a couple years back, though.
Yeah, that don't count. It's different.
That seemed like a less healthy relationship, though, than this. So
Perhaps.
it seems like you guys genuinely get along, and there's no. It's fair and equal.
You know, as my friend, I want this to work out, and I
You want to see me happy.
But
Yeah.
But
I also miss the entertainment of you going on 50 failed dates in 1 year.
Last
And all
year
the crazy stories.
Last year was a year, huh?
wasn't doing it for the stories, I'll tell you that.
I know. Well, that's why the
It
stories.
wasn't even like stories even like really resulted from it. It was just like
I think just like
that was it.
that in it itself, it's like a story. I don't know. It kind of. I think stories resulted of it. You just don't see it that way. Like
There were definitely some.
there was like more often than not, there was even just like the getting like the follow up text or like you doing something weird, like saying like if you don't want to like talk anymore, like that's fine. You did that multiple times, or them telling you they didn't want to hang out anymore, or
Yeah, that was funny stuff. And then the girl with the glass. Can we tell that story?
wait, what?
What story?
You revealed that you have the herpes anyway. Did you share the drink with the girl?
Oh.
Tell that story. That's a good
I
one.
think I took a sip and then revealed like, oh, I kind of have herpes.
No, didn't she take a sip and she's like, "Oh, you don't have herpes or anything, right?"
Yeah, and then you're like, actually,
I wasn't gonna lie to her.
yeah, but still,
Yeah.
it's just a funny coincidence.
Yeah.
And you guys never hung out again.
Correct.
Correct. I wonder why.
You also had some great opening lines last year
Like
too
what?
on like OkCupid and Tinder, like the your cat.
Yep. Your
You
cat,
hate that.
First guest,
That became
Cambridge.
legendary.
First guest, Cambridge.
You refused to
I'm
use
just quick.
my line that I gave you. I found off the B9 board,
And then you use it twice.
and it worked.
And it works.
Have you used
which
it
is
more than
insane.
that at this point?
I think not much more now.
Tell the people your opening line on Tinder that worked, Ryan.
All right, this is not creative. I mean, this is on the B9 board, and people were claiming that it worked. So,
And it did.
well, when I didn't know what to say, you just says, if you were
A vegetable.
a vegetable, you'd be a cucumber.
Which really makes me want to jump off a building.
Why?
They loved it.
That's insane.
They said, "Oh, that was so
That's
sweet.
insane.
That was so cute." Ha, ha.
Schultz, that's what they say to you?
Yeah, something like that.
Who are you talking to that says
right.
that?
I don't know. Let me see if I can find something good that responded to.
I feel like it's just like so silly, but it's also like innocent, you know, that it like works, you know?
That's
It's so innocent that it's almost not innocent.
What?
It seems like, I don't know.
I feel like there
sinister.
are much worse
This
like
person
cheesy
said-
pickup
said,
lines.
haha, pretty good. Props to you.
Yeah, that sounds better. Sounds about right.
Props to you.
One of them, I don't know. One person said it was one of the cutest things they ever heard.
They don't get out much.
This Schultz, whenever
I
we talk
agree.
about this, Schultz becomes your mind explodes for some reason.
I know.
You get very overwhelmed.
I
with-
show him, and he gets very upset.
Yeah, you get angry and you shake your head and you laugh hysterically.
You get upset that girls
I
like
don't
me
have
too.
this crazy reaction.
You do. You have this strange, like, utter disbelief. Also, like
think it's a little-
resentment and jealousy
Resentment
too.
and jealousy?
Yeah.
What am I jealous
Anytime
of?
anytime I tell you
Yeah,
a
I'm
story,
so
they're
jealous
like,
of feeling detached
yeah,
from everyone
They're
else.
like the guy that screams the Star Spangled Banner.
Yeah, you're always like in disbelief that Ryan like went on a date that was successful.
Well, he is kind of a freak, so
I'm not a freak to them.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
You're special. You bring out this something in me, man.
Yeah, like saying, like making weird imitations in the car on the way home.
Like what?
Oh, I can't say that on here.
Wow.
Where were you going with this, Ryan? I think you were
Uh,
trying to say, I'm happy for you. And it spiraled into, you are a weird, jealous freak.
I think I was trying to say,
no, you said you're happy
I'm
for
happy
him,
for
and
you.
but you missed the stories.
but I missed the story.
You
so
wish things
I'm,
weren't working out.
I'm torn. I'm more leaning towards being happy for you, but I also
Wow, thanks.
I
Such a good friend that you
I
60%
miss-
want to see me happy.
I miss the stores. I miss the anticipation I would have to for you to
Yeah.
pick me up in the morning and just tell me what happened. That
Yeah,
next
that's
day.
true. There's like nothing to talk
You know?
about anymore.
Yeah, I get in the car, Ryan looks at me and just smiles.
We gotta sabotage this somehow.
Yeah, I think,
Oh,
I
great.
think so. I really miss that stuff, man.
We're
It
gonna
brought it
send her.
close.
We're gonna send her some incriminating videos and pictures
All
of
she has
you.
to do is listen to the podcast and I'm fucked.
I don't think so.
We talked about some deep shit, man. I gave you some good advice. I really pulled you up when you were down. It's
Perhaps.
true. And you say we do nothing for you.
I didn't say that.
You imply it.
No, that don't imply it.
You
We're good
imply it
friends?
by not giving Ryan an unlimited amount of chips.
Yeah.
It seems like I already do that, though.
You, never
don't.
give me
It's
money.
not unlimited.
I gave him 17 handfuls of chips yesterday.
Did you
You
count?
did
That
literally
may not
give me-
even be an exaggeration.
Yeah, I think you did get. I was just kind of testing you, but you pretty much. I'd say you gave me about 15 handfuls of
Oh
chips.
my god! It's like
He'll
half
leave
the
you
bag.
alone. Dude, kid can't bring in his own fucking snacks until today, finally.
Yeah, I brought in my own snacks.
And you had one and it hurt you.
Has a little bite to eat for lunch and then nothing else.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
And then his,
But if you have a resource,
and then
why would you squander that? If you have someone who's willing to give you a meal's worth of chips, why would you
Yeah.
not
really
use that?
willing.
Well, you
I
ultimately
didn't,
are.
I didn't put a gun to your head. I,
I
just
know.
you're holding my plate out and you kept
So
filling
you're
it.
annoying.
So you just do it?
I just want you to stop turning towards me.
When you keep doing it.
But he also
Keep
instills
giving
guilt
in.
in me because he's sitting there like he's starving.
What?
I was.
So you feel bad for him when he's
Yes.
asking for chips?
I
Yes.
was. I was hungry.
Wow.
That's the situation.
I had a little lunch.
All
I only
right.
had toast.
You ate toast for lunch
Yeah,
yesterday.
you saw me.
Well, I think we got to move on. This has been fun. I'm glad you had a good trip. I'm glad things are going well. I'm
Cheers.
sure it's only a matter of time before things take a turn for the
Wow.
much worse.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
I'm not saying
Such a good
I hope
person.
they will. I just think
That's even worse. You know they will.
Wow.
What?
That's almost worse. You know they will.
I said it's only a matter of time. That could be years. Who knows?
I get
We
a
might have
good, I get a
run.
good feeling about
All
this one,
things
Chelsea.
end.
All things
All right,
do end.
So Ryan's the angel on my shoulder. You're the devil.
I'm not the
Yeah.
devil.
He's
I'm
the
not
fucking
encouraging
devil.
you to
You're gonna
ruin
fuck
it.
it up.
That's not what I'm
You're gonna
saying.
fuck it up.
I didn't blame you. It could go
Everything
either
will work
way.
out fine.
One of
Oh,
you
you
two
know it's
could
gonna go
die
wrong.
in a car accident or something.
Yeah, I could.
So just think about that.
I'll think about that.
Be more cautious.
All
I
right.
think you're both going to live forever.
That's true too.
Honestly.
That's the other end of the
No
spectrum.
middle ground. I'm going to die in a car crash tomorrow or live forever.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Would you would live forever if you wanted to, right?
You didn't already talk about that? You wanted to be a robot man so you could eat more
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, you didn't say.
I'll try living forever, sure.
Yeah. You said so you could experience more things in life, even though you don't do anything now.
I forget what the hell your like
I just want to see
reasoning
how
was.
society and technology
You said you want to
progresses, that's all.
experience new things, and then you realize you don't experience any new things now
Correct.
when you're alive.
I accept that.
And you still want to live forever?
I just want to see how the world advances, that's all.
What if it stops advancing? What if you're just a robot man after the apocalypse and you just live forever?
Everything's the same.
What
Yeah.
if we all have to live on the moon?
I'll accept death at that point.
No, but what if you make the choice to become robot man and then the world ends And like but
Robot
part of
Man. I don't
part
remember
of
saying
being
Robot
Robot Man is
I don't think I
that
said this.
that like there's like it doesn't let you kill yourself, like no matter what, like you just
Then
don't
I
have that
accept that.
option. So you're just gonna live forever in this desolate wasteland of Earth?
Well, I didn't know beforehand that was going to be the
That's a
situation.
possibility. If the robots are taking over, then you got to assume that's coming up.
Well, then I'll be with them.
You're only
'Cause I'm a
half.
robot
You're
man.
you're not
Oh, so
accepted.
I'm an outcast.
Yeah, you're not accepted as a human, and you're not accepted as a robot. So
Yeah.
you're thrown to the wayside to wander alone forever.
Crazy scenario. We're
Kind of a good metaphor. It's because you're half Jew, half Gentile. No
Yeah.
one accepts you.
It's
True.
You've been alone for a long time.
There you go.
Do you think we're alone on this earth, Schultz?
What do you mean by that?
Do you think we're alone?
Does
I
that
don't know
mean,
what that
are you talking
means.
about like Sasquatch
Do you think there are extraterrestrials out
on
there?
Earth?
Yeah.
Is it like Men in Black?
They're just in
Do you
plain
think
sight.
so? What do you think?
I don't know, Ryan.
I saw this documentary the other day that said there's an alien nuclear power plant on the moon.
Was it called Men in Black?
No. It's true. I saw a picture of it.
They're using nuclear power? Aliens?
On the moon?
On the moon, there's an alien nuclear power plant with a 22-mile-long missile pointed at Earth.
Oh my god.
It's true.
It's true.
It is. Look it up.
What's the name of this documentary?
It's true that
something about
aliens
aliens on the moon.
Have a nuclear
It's on
plant on the moon.
Netflix. It's true.
Was it well done or is it like a bad documentary?
No, it was pretty well done. It was showing how like they would take these images of of the moon, and like NASA would airbrush certain things out so no one would know what it actually is. And it's all weird artificial stuff up there that looks like it was a part of a potential ancient alien civilization.
Sounds pretty good. I'll have to check that out.
Nuclear power plant on the fucking moon.
You scared?
Yeah. And they found
Should
an
be.
alien body too.
Where?
A little mummified alien
Did they?
on Apollo 20.
Damn.
That supposedly never happened, but it did.
Wow.
Watch it.
Conspiracy theorists.
Crazy shit. It's good.
Ryan's one of like the 9/11 doubters now.
They're concealing the truth, Schultz.
True.
Okay.
Truth.org
You don't wanna
or
believe.
whatever.
Truth.
You don't want to believe.
Okay.
Stop running from your
You're afraid.
truth.
You don't want to
Stop
believe.
running from your truth.
Yeah,
That's the phrase.
it's true. Admit it.
Admit the truth.
Admit 9/11 didn't happen. All right, we got to move on.
Yeah.
So, kind of along the same lines of things we've done in the recent past, we wanted to talk about some punk, hardcore, metal, underground music in general, documentaries or movies. We thought this would be a cool topic that kind of is all-encompassing. And I mean, the world of hardcore and punk, I'm sure most people that listen to this stuff it's normal for them, like the three of us were around it every day. It's on our minds. It's what we do. It's the people we hang out with. So it's normal for us. But for the most part, it's like a small minority of people are actually interested in this stuff. So having movies and stuff about this kind of thing is cool. They're not as common as other things. So yeah, we figured we'd talk about ones, the good ones, the okay ones.
And the
ones
shit ones.
Yeah. So
The shit ones.
I guess we can
if
kick it
there
off with just American hardcore, I guess. I think that's probably one that,
The standard bearer.
yeah,
Yeah.
because it's very well done. First of all, like
Yeah,
'cause that's the thing. A couple of these other ones are pretty like low budget and like kind of like thrown together, kind of hastily. But American hardcore is like really well done. It's definitely like pro quality. And it's cool. Like I don't know, it's cool how many of like those old OG like hardcore dudes they get to be on that.
Yeah, and they cover the first wave like pretty extensively.
Yeah.
Soundtrack's good.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's cool that they cover like all the different areas like separately. It's not just like these were the bands that started at the same time. Like they go from
Well, they do it by like geographical areas too. I
Yeah,
think.
they do.
didn't
Go
I
from
just say
DC
that?
to Detroit. No, you were saying like time wise.
I
No.
said areas.
Yeah. Time wise, it's only the first
Yeah,
wave.
it's only like 78, 79 to like
All right,
82.
disregard my correction.
I will. So yeah, it's cool that they cover all the different areas, as I was saying. But yeah, I think where do they start? DC or LA? One of those two.
I think it starts out in LA.
Yeah, which makes sense.
But I remember you and I and some friends watched that when we were like 16 or something, and that's kind of what really exposed me to like that first wave kind of stuff. Besides, like, I think my actual first exposure was like Tony Hawk.
Yeah, it was probably some Tony Hawk stuff, and then this like I was always like a Wikipedia nerd, so like I would just like Google Google that kind of stuff and like click on Wikipedia articles that were related to it. So like I knew about like Minor Threat and Black Flag and some of the other like original hardcore bands like going into like watching that, but it is kind of like a nice like if you really want to like, hey, how do I get into this stuff? Like, here you go, here's your starting point. It's like a pretty good way to do that.
Pretty much, and it shows like there are a ton of like really good bands from that era that just aren't like they're not Black Flag, they're not Minor Threat. You know what I mean? They're not
Bad Brains. So no, that's true. I mean. Yeah, definitely. That's cool. It's cool.
I thought it was my only gripe with it was that when it ended, they pretty much said after 85,
Hardcore died.
Yeah. Which
I think it was Keith Morris that said it, right?
A couple people
became really controversial.
Did Keith Morris even say that in there? Did he?
I feel like
I know a couple of them, but it's not all of them. It's only they do kind of use that as like the closing, so it's kind of like that's how they wrap up the whole documentary.
Which is weird. I think 85 was definitely like end of like the first wave era.
An era
clearly was not the end of
not at all
hardcore as we know it.
Yeah, I mean obviously it still continues. And going back to what you were saying as like I was like an introduction for kind of like for us, or at least like a blast of like we knew about these bands, but like this was like a whole thing, you know. And I guess the biggest thing I realized is like how much things like haven't changed too much. Like when I saw it, I was like these kids in like the late 70s early 80s look like we do, and they look like the kids we go to shows with, and they even kind of still sound like a lot of the bands we listen to, or like you can see the direct correlation.
Even the ones that aren't doing more like straight up sound like that, you can still obviously hear the comparison.
No, definitely. Influence. And just like how just the structure of a show, or even the fact that shows are in churches and halls and like random small venues that like aren't prepared for what kind of stuff is coming. Like I don't know. It's cool how that stuff really hasn't changed. Yeah.
At least for me, like kind of like how you're saying how you Wikipedia stuff, like the history of music's always kind of like interested me. So when I got into anytime I would get into or continue to get into any like different kind of like
a subgenre,
I like to go back and kind of like do my homework and
hear the originators.
Yeah, I like that too, because especially if it's something drastic. Like I mean, punk obviously existed, but I feel like to like the untrained ear or whatever, like you might see as like punk and hardcore is like pretty similar, but I think there's like a pretty drastic change in like the sound, you know. And
I mean, that's why the first have made it hardcore punk.
But it's just cool to see like when did this stuff actually change? Like who was the first band to actually like make a conscious effort to like we want to put a variation on this or something along those lines. And I'm definitely the same way, because it's just cool. It's interesting. Like I feel like if you really like something, you want to know its roots and how it developed and stuff, because I feel like it's relatable.
Yeah,
in a lot of ways.
Yeah, for sure.
You saw it too, right?
Yep, I saw it.
Did you love it?
It was pretty good.
When did you see it? When did it first come out? Mid 2000s?
Something like that, probably.
Yeah.
I feel like I saw it like just a year or two after it came out on DVD or something.
Not bad.
So I think it was like a straight to DVD release, wasn't it? More or less.
I think most documentaries are. I'm sure it probably showed in like. I wouldn't be surprised if they showed it in like theaters in like DC and stuff, like
maybe
where that culture is a little bit more in your face. But
pretty sure it was like 05, 06.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. What else you guys want to talk about?
I guess like the all ages DVD, the one that Drew Stone did, that was about the Boston scene.
Yeah,
that was cool. Definitely obviously didn't seem like it had like as high of a budget and stuff as American Hardcore, but I thought, at least being from the area, I thought it was cool that it kind of like was just about Boston. And Bridge and I did have a hand in that with like the Gallery East reunion shows and stuff that happened for it and whatever.
Yeah, and that was really cool. Like, I mean, you and I got to see it like on like a bigger screen too. And, we saw it on like a
Boston screen.
Yeah, we saw like a premiere of it. So yeah, it is cool to see I don't know, your own state, your own city, like focused in on, because it was probably about the length of like a movie or a documentary, an hour and a half, 2 hours, and only focused on like Boston. So
Yeah.
it was cool. And they also did like Q&A after, and they had people who were involved, not just in bands, but just people who were in there that like book shows and
Yeah,
like
the dude who ran the Gallery East in there and stuff.
Yeah, so that was definitely cool because it was so hyper focused on one area.
Yeah, and it was cool because like there was maybe like 20, 30 people at that small screening. So.
Yeah, it was a pretty intimate showing, so that was a good time.
Yeah, that was cool.
But yeah, that is a good one, especially if you're interested in Boston hardcore specifically, which Boston obviously has a rich history with that.
And I guess speaking of Boston hardcore, the Slapshot documentary finally came out last year. I don't know if either of you guys saw it.
I don't think I have. I've been meaning to watch it.
It was really good. I liked it a lot. The only thing was, I feel like it took so long to come out. The story ended with like Mark McKay rejoining the band, and like that was it. But like he's not in the band anymore.
True.
And
so it's already out of.
Well, I mean, you could just take it as that era, I guess. It's still interesting.
But it was cool hearing about like a lot of it you already knew, but it's cool just hearing it from like their perspective and just like stuff like that.
No, definitely, because I feel like obviously hardcore, especially now, is like better documented with the internet and stuff. But earlier stuff where it was such an underground DIY thing, I feel like things could just get lost in like in the shuffle. You know, things just disappear, and especially like information and facts about certain things. So it's like always intriguing to have that stuff actually documented in that kind of a way.
Yeah, for sure.
You got anything to say, Schultz?
The Kid Dynamite DVD. 4 years and one gulp. I got that as a birthday present when it came out. Enjoyed that a lot.
You loved it?
Yeah. The band had such a short history, but
what do they cover
thinks it
in
was
there?
like easy to get in depth about it and have all the interviews.
What stood out to you from that?
Stood out to me from that?
What'd you learn?
Nothing I like can remember off the top of my head now, but I know like it provided a lot of background information you might not know about the band.
True.
Otherwise, which was good.
Documentary-esque stuff.
SLC Punk.
Wow, that was a
You're
great
just rattling things off, huh?
it's a movie with punk with punk people.
Yeah, it's hard to tell like if that movie is actually good or if I only liked it at the time because I was young and like that was my burgeoning interest that it related to.
I haven't seen it for a while. It's probably been like 4 or 5 years since I saw it, but a lot of people do say, "Oh, it's cheesy." I think anytime like something you're into is focused on, it gets scrutinized, you know, by the people who are actually living that. Like, I think it obviously has its goofy moments, but I think it's supposed to, you know, because I think at the end the idea is kind of like he like grows out of it, you know, and whatever. And I don't know. Obviously, it has
been
like
10
weird
years since
cheesy
I saw it.
moments, but I mean, it's kind of based on like a true story, right? Or like, I think at least parts of it. I think it's.
I don't even know if I've seen the full movie.
No, well, it's like someone based on like true events or something, and obviously, like the thing with that is like that's more about like punk, like culture, I guess, than it is about like
the concept of it, though.
Yeah, it's not even like it's following like a certain band. It's not a story about that or like anyone even like that significant. You know, it's just which I guess is cool in its own way. And as much as it might be cheesy and inaccurate, like it's more realistic and like the terminology and stuff they use is like more real than like the stereotypical punk, you know, or something like that. So
yeah, that reminds me. Did either of you watch the Germs movie?
No,
like the fictional, or well, not fictional, but like I think it was like a biopic of Darby Crash.
No, did you?
Yeah,
you loved it.
It was actually pretty good. Yeah, it was like interesting to like see the story behind that, and like the story of the Germs, because I didn't really like know it otherwise.
Yeah,
They were kind of a short-lived band too.
I've gone down some like wormholes on like YouTube, and like it'll be kind of like interviews that are like long enough that they're almost like documentaries. And I think I was watching something with like about like the 90s New York hardcore stuff.
Oh, that was a documentary.
Was it oh yeah, I think
it was like Rick to Life.
Yeah, it was Rick to Life, and then it was like Freddie Madball and Toby H2O. They're actually like in together getting like interviewed.
In it too, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I think like the way it was cut up on YouTube, it was like cut up into like the different people they interviewed. So
it was. I think it was just like the New York hardcore documentary for that time.
Yeah, which is cool because again, that's the more obviously that now is 20 plus years in the past, but that's a more recent, I feel like almost lesser documented piece of hardcore. And I know like the Strife, it's probably a DVD now, but I think like the Strife VHS gets talked about a lot as like something that I've never seen it. I don't know if either of you have. No? But I've heard it talked about.
Yeah. I know, I think March 1st, somewhere in Massachusetts, they're doing a screening of the Salad Days documentary, which is
pretty cool.
Just about the DC hardcore scene specifically. So that,
have you've seen that? Right?
No,
you haven't?
I don't think it's out. I think it's just, I think they're doing the same thing with they're just doing a couple scrings and then it'll come out on DVD.
I'd be pretty interested in that.
Yeah, I want to. I feel like a secondary. I think I'm more interested in the Boston scene, and then DC's probably second for me. Like all like the Discord stuff, and even though I think I've seen enough Ian MacKay interviews to last me a lifetime.
Yeah,
but hopefully they'll be a little more interesting, not to cover the same shit.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully if it's all of DC, it won't just be hyper focused on Minor Threats. Obviously, Bad Brains and stuff.
Yeah,
is in there too. I wonder if it'll get into like Rites of Spring and stuff too.
That would be cool. I would assume it would get into like the Revolution, like summer stuff.
It makes sense.
I could see it ending around like Fugazi or something like that.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
You saw the Descendants movie too.
I saw the Descendants movie. That was pretty good too. I wasn't like as familiar with like at least like when they covered like all like they were like in like crazy history of like member changes and stuff.
Yeah. Wasn't all just like them without the singer or something like that?
It was pretty much them without Milo.
Yeah.
Like Dave Smalley sang for a little bit, and it's got a bunch of different people.
It's pretty tight.
And I didn't realize that until watching it. That was like when, at one point, I think it was when they first started, or around at least early incarnation. They were all like super young, and then their bass player was like 35 years old.
Was he like a janitor or something?
I don't know. I think he like lived close by or something, but
that's pretty great.
Yeah, pretty wild.
That's pretty punk, you know? Just get who you can. 35-year-old bass player.
It's
not bad.
Yeah, no, I thought that was really good. I think that's out on DVD and stuff now too.
I'm looking forward to the Jawbreaker documentary if that ever comes out.
I didn't even know it was a thing.
It's been in the works for a long time.
What are they going to talk about?
Jawbreaker.
Speaking of hardcore documentaries that have been in works for a long time, Have Heart, that always gets tossed around and rumored.
Stop asking us.
Stop asking. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
It'll come out eventually.
It's every other question.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's on the bands and when they want to do that. But I'm interested in that. I think that'd be cool. I'm interested in kind of this whole era of hardcore, I guess. Like, I guess the stuff that we're actually kind of like living, you know? Like, I'm interested to see how that stuff's going to get remembered and like documented.
Which
like,
I think that's what the Have Heart documentary is more about, is about that, like the 2000s hardcore scene. And
that's cool. I'm pretty interested in seeing that then. That's cool. Hopefully it does come out.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I haven't heard really any updates on it in a long time.
I'm sure it's something that will happen eventually.
Yeah.
And when it does, you will know.
No, for
Until
sure.
then, leave us alone. Please.
No, I'm definitely interested to see how this era is going to get documented, because you kind of take it for granted while you're living it, and like you write off the stuff that you're not interested in as like stupid or insignificant. But then you realize the stuff you didn't like is the stuff that gets remembered, or like if it's huge, sometimes it doesn't. It's just like, oh, that got too big. It's just a joke now, and no one cares. So
yeah, I'm curious to see, like, you know, there are always the bands that were like super underrated, and then they kind of like people love it.
There's like some weird resurgence because of like a big band cites them as an influence or something like that.
Yeah, I feel like that happens with a lot of like metalish bands and hardcore, like Bolt Thrower and stuff like that. Like
definitely.
People love that shit now.
Yeah, like kind of irrelevant 90s like death metal bands that are now hardcore's biggest influence.
Yeah.
Definitely a thing. But we actually, was it a documentary? I think we saw one of the Converge DVDs a little while ago.
I don't think that, I'm pretty sure the Converge DVDs is like live
set. So I mean, I guess technically it's still documenting and that era of Converge. Yeah. It's interesting to see a band who like never slowed down for the most part. Like back then when they had like different members, and like they're such a big band for the most part now that they're playing like halls and churches there, which is cool.
Yeah, that was cool seeing them play like little halls like the Merrimack Valley and stuff.
That's pretty
For
tight.
the most part, like all live performance DVDs, they don't hold my interest enough.
Yeah.
I kind of just like watch a few things. Like I can't just watch like 2 hours of like
No,
random
definitely.
band
Fall asleep.
performances.
It's cool to see like that stuff like thrown in with talking about it and other stuff, but
Yeah.
yeah. And then I mean other than that,
I saw Until the Light Takes Us, which is more metal, the black metal documentary.
Yeah.
I thought that was really good.
I can't remember if I've seen that. Like I'm not too interested in black metal, but I've randomly watched like a few black metal documentaries, and I can't remember. I watched one on that. Is his name Varg? I think.
Oh
Or-
yeah.
I watched that where they like travel to like his home where he like doesn't have like electricity or something, and like
Yeah. He's a pretty like focal point in this documentary, but it's
okay.
when he was still in prison.
I gotcha.
So I don't know. It's pretty crazy. They talked to him about like the burning of the churches, and he just like. I don't know,
Was he the one with like the chalice?
crazy dude.
Yeah. No, that's all that stuff is pretty wild. It's wild that, like, because that's like I feel like that scene for that stuff there was like
It was very
tight knit and like
yeah.
almost like parallel to hardcore in its own weird ways, I guess.
Yeah, it was like I don't know. It was obviously very extreme.
Yeah, it's
Everything that was going on. There.
yeah, it's bizarre because you think it's just like imagery and like metaphors, but for whatever reason, like that European black metal, like they like lived that shit. Like, isn't there like the guy who like killed himself? I forget from one of
the
those bands.
Singer, yeah, one of the singers of Mayhem shot himself, and they found him dead in his apartment.
They like took
And
pictures.
the
of
first
him?
thing they did is ran to the store, got a disposable camera, and took a picture of his dead body to use on album
On
art
album
later.
art.
Which
Yeah.
I don't know if it ended up being like an actual official release, but it did get released on like some.
Yeah, I've definitely like
some
seen
album.
the pictures. There are pictures of that,
Yeah,
and I think he wrote some note, and like reading the note is like unsettling. It's not like sad. It's almost like I'm just decided to kill myself. It's like very bizarre and like unsettling. I don't know. That stuff is weird. Like just the church burnings in general are pretty insane. And what's that band where the guy like kills the other member?
pretty sure that was also Mayhem. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, was it Vargan Mayhem? I don't remember. I'm pretty sure, but yeah, he like went over there and he just like killed him.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Stuff's pretty wild. I saw this is like getting more like in the weeds, but it was actually like I think on like VH1. It was just like a metal in general documentary, and it starts with like Black Sabbath playing like Iron Man or something on TV, and then like but it's actually like for a VH1 documentary, it actually covers some pretty like relatively underground stuff. Like they go into death metal and they go into black metal and stuff too, which is pretty tight. You've contributed a lot to this, huh?
Yeah,
I thought I talked about some things.
Did you?
It was hard to get a word in edgewise. You guys were.
Can we talk about the greatest musical documentary live film of all time?
Which one's that?
Through the Never. The
I've never
Metallica
seen
I actually
that.
live action
haven't
movie.
seen it.
I haven't seen it. Did you see it?
Yeah, watch it.
This is the infamous Metallica one,
It's
right?
pretty insane.
Isn't
Yeah.
this like just like an actual like film?
It's an actual, it's just a movie. Like
Yeah.
Metallica like performs, and then it kind of follows a story of like I think he's like a roadie or something.
That's the weirdest concept for a movie. I didn't even like really hear
this
anything
is-
about it until it came out.
This is separate from like the monster documentary or whatever that is.
Oh yeah, some kind of monster was a great documentary.
Oh
though.
yeah, I
haven't
forgot
seen
about
that.
that.
Shit.
Yeah,
That
I've
was
I've
so
seen like a
good.
lot more of these, I guess, than I really like think. But
Yeah.
is that the one where they're
Some-
having all the issues and
Yeah.
they're
Some
doing
kind of
the-
monster
yeah.
was
They're
the
the
making-
infighting during.
Yeah, it was the making of Saint Anger.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're like I think they rented out some crazy complex to like record in
Yeah.
and stuff. And they had like a band therapist who they were recording. And they were
insane.
like they were giving them so much money. And that's
Yeah.
when their bass player left and they were recruiting members and they got Robert from Suicidal Tendencies.
Yeah.
And Law's like, we'd like to offer you $1 million to show that we're really serious about this.
It's pretty good. I think we were watching that on some like tour we were doing.
I've seen that a few times.
Yeah.
It's so
Because they
good.
show like bits again. I think I saw bits and pieces of that on VH1, and that's when they do like the snare thing. Like Lars is like, this is what a snare sounds like when you want to make money and like sell a gold record, and like then he's like, this is the what the hell's the name of that? The Saint Anger snare, and it's like they cut the chains off of the snare or something, and it's just this high pitched, disgusting like tin.
I don't know what they were doing.
But I think around that same time we also watched that Anvil documentary.
Oh God,
Like
yeah.
this is going further away from like underground music, but like yeah, that's
Anvil was they were like an 80s like hair metal band.
they were almost like proto hair metal. Like they were more like, at least that earlier stuff I've heard, they were like more extreme. They were almost like pre-thrash kind of. Like they were like more aggressive than like hair metal bands.
But they were pretty popular for a minute and then just totally fell off. And the documentary follows how they're still trying to make it work and like
it's
like sending demos to labels and like playing these like depressing shows to like 3 people.
Yeah.
Remember one they thought they got their big break or something, and they flew to like Japan to play this supposedly huge festival, and it was them playing like in an arena to like, and they showed the attendance. It was like 16 people or something, like super depressing.
Yeah, I think I saw a trailer for that, and I wasn't sure if the band was real or not.
They're real. I'm pretty sure they got like a little, like a small like cult following after that.
From that, I eventually realized like, oh, this is the thing.
That shit was pretty good too. I don't think anything beats Some Kind of Monster, though. That was so great. It was so funny.
Yeah, it's just like so over the top to see them like acting that way, little babies.
Yep, pretty much.
I think that's all we got for this topic. Schultz got his 2 words in.
Yep.
Hey, I was talking about a lot of movies.
Were you?
It's hard to get a word in edgewise here.
You were just. What do you keep saying?
It's
Edgewise?
hard to get a word in edgewise.
What does that mean?
It means
because Ryan and I are straight edge. You're intimidated by us.
Yes, that's what it is.
Huh?
Stop drinking.
Why don't you go have another drink?
Yeah,
you fuck.
Please leave me alone.
Yeah, you need your crutch,
warriors.
Piece of shit.
Yeah, I need my crutch. I need my 1 drink every other week I have.
Yeah,
damn
you
right
do, don't you?
Can't live without that.
Addicted.
Well, thanks again for listening. Check us out on I don't know.
iTunes?
I don't know. Check us
out there. That's a good place to start.
Check us out on iTunes. Rate us. Review us.
Please review us.
Do something.
Even if you think we suck.
Subscribe. Yeah, just give us some feedback. And speaking of feedback, like I said last week, hit up our Tumblr and suggest things. We want to hear what you guys want us to talk about or incorporate into episodes, anything. If you have any suggestions for the show, we'd love to hear it. Or you can just ask. And we have a couple on the back burner, but once we get a few more, we can throw some into an episode, answer your questions.
Anything you want to know about Schultz?
Yeah.
Feel free. We
should have an open-ended, like, Ask Schultz Anything episode.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I don't think there would
if
be a lot
someone
of
suggests it, we'll do it, and we'll put together some,
I don't think
questions.
There would not be many contributors.
You must be truthful.
Yeah. Truth or Dare with Schultz.
It sounds like a terrible idea. I think we joked about doing that, but that is really a terrible idea.
We'll do it.
We'll get it done.
No.
Well, until next time, so long.
Peace.
See you later.